Welcome to another edition of Feminist Fumbles. As always, I am Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian, giving you the news stories that don't quite make it on my Smash series, but worth talking about while we try to keep it short, simple, and sarcastic. So, I haven't done one of these in a little bit, so... Oh, shoot, I think I messed up the intro. God damn it. Oh, well. So, anyways, let's go ahead and make up for that loss and get right into the show. I always hear the Mission Impossible theme whenever I start doing these videos. All right, so our first story today, the NFL taps into the power of VR as a tool to combat racism and sexism. Think about that for a moment. Using virtual reality to combat racism and sexism. So, researchers at Stanford University believe that they can tap the power of VR to conquer challenges that don't involve save points and extra lives, like discrimination. Oh, you mean the discrimination that you believe that all video games have save points and extra lives? Wow, this is working wonders. I mean, you've already demonstrated discrimination in the second paragraph. So basically what this is, and the NFL is getting in on this, like on the ground floor of this. And the basic idea is, first, the reason why the NFL is doing this, I rather love this little paragraph here. The NFL has a rather checkered history in dealing with the problems like domestic violence and racism, problems researchers hope to answer with a pair of VR goggles and lifelike simulation designed to increase empathy. So the racism that they're referring to in this article leads to this right here. Cam Newton dances around end zones, not around matters of racism. And from what I can gather of this, I'm not very familiar with this, but apparently this quarterback is a little bit angry because people are criticizing his end zone dancing. And the problem with that is that the NFL has always frowned upon any acts of celebration. They actually have rules against how you can celebrate in the NFL. And if the NFL had their way, no player could ever celebrate if they score a winning touchdown. Okay, but because he's black, it has to be a race issue, which is basically what this article is talking about. So of all of the racist checkered past that the NFL has, and that's the one article you point to, domestic violence I could understand. I mean, that's definitely been a problem within the NFL, that they've always kind of looked the other way on that kind of issue. And I'm not talking about the Ray Rice thing, but there has been incidents in the past where players were really bad people, but because, you know, they're scoring touchdowns, it was kind of looked the other way. But really, that's the best you could do for racism? I mean, hell, look at the movie Brian's Song. That dealt with more of the racism within the NFL at the time than that one issue of, I'm a black player and I should celebrate. Really? So anyways, what this VR simulation is going to do is it's going to allow people to take the role of a minority. Is like in one scenario, a user will take on the role of an African American female being angrily harassed by a white male. It's like, so basically what this is a propaganda tool. Now look, racism still exists, but it's not as common as people think it is. It still happens, and unfortunate that it does, but this is also suggesting that, you know, racism is only one way, on the idea that racism deals with a power structure. So since white men have all the power and black women have none, then that's racism right there. Now, if this was to say, we're going to take you through the steps of every type of person, black guy, black woman, white guy, white woman, Asian, Hispanic, what have you, and show you all of the challenges that they face in their life, I might be able to understand that. But this seems to be very propaganda of, oh, well, white people are the oppressors. The thing is it's making it interactive propaganda, which is probably what I should have titled this as, is interactive propaganda. That's basically what this is. Although Frank Dobbin at the University of Harvard, which I'm wondering if this is just a rivalry because this is from Stanford University and this guy's from Harvard. But he was saying that these training scenarios could actually prove to be counterproductive because, yeah, 30 minutes of these trainings, a person might seem more empathetic, but within 3 to 6 months later, there would probably be no change in their behavior. And there is also the possibility of a negative reaction. So I don't know. This is just propaganda, in my opinion. Yes, racism is a big issue, but, you know, and being able to walk in someone else's shoes, while however interesting, I don't think is going to be a solution. And if anything, it's going to be a tool that says white people are bad. That's it. That's basically what this is going to be. If you are watching, please leave a comment, and I'll be happy to read it online. Oh, by the way, as far as the racism of the NFL goes, how is there racism in the NFL since nearly 1,200 players are black? 68% of NFL players are black, and yet the NFL wants to jump on board to teach their coaches not to be racist, with only 28% being white and about 5% being everything else. So let's move on to our next article. 5 ways feminism makes me a better partner. 1, we share the chores equally. Okay, well, many couples do that. In fact, many that are not within the feminist movement. I know the stereotype is that men don't do chores, but, you know, most marriages I've ever seen, men and women are doing chores equally. Oftentimes, it's that men are often do like household improvements, you know, lawn work, taking care of the car, stuff like that, where women do a lot of other chores. Not to say that women can't do those other chores, but I've always seen, you know, more often than not, it's men who are mowing the lawn, not women. But even if you want to say, oh, well, we both do the dishes. In my household, my mother and father both did the dishes. You know, it was whoever felt like doing it. Sometimes my mom did it. Sometimes my stepfather did it. And oftentimes me and my brother did it, you know? So I don't get this whole how feminism helps you to share the chores. Fluid gender expression is okay. Now, what she's talking about here is the fact that she's a woman and she's dating another woman, and basically she supports her girlfriend or wife or whatever in being whatever gender she decides to be at any given moment, which, okay, you might be able to say, well, only feminists would do this, but this is a bigger thing here, is that you're just supporting who the people are. And this is something that generally happens in marriage because you marry the person because you like them, so of course you're going to support who they are. But they're trying to make gender fluid to try to get more clicks on this site by using this as like a tag. That's all that I think they're doing. You're supporting who the person is. We talk about what feels right for us. Well, most couples do that as well. We both manage money. Well, couples tend to both manage money until they get together, and then they either decide we'll manage our own money or decide that one person manages the money. And more often than not, I've seen that women are the ones who are managing the money in a relationship versus the man. and oftentimes gives the man an allowance that the man agrees to. He's like, yeah, okay, we can set up an allowance system so we can save up money for the other things we need. It's not wrong that, you know, one person is designated as the person who manages money. Maybe they're better with math than the other person. But I mean, okay, kudos for you that you and your significant other manage the money, but you know, I don't understand how being feminist engages in that. I mean, no matter what, a woman has to manage money in your relationship, and you're both women. We openly support one another. Well, yeah, we kind of already covered that with we talk about, oh no, not that one. Gender fluid expression is okay. That's basically you're supporting one another. And that's what happens in relationships, is that people tend to support each other. So once again, Bustle has done a fantastic article where they ascribe human behaviors that most of us do to some degree or another, and try to say, well, this is what feminists do, and this is how we prove that we're so much better than everyone else because we're doing it, so that must mean it's a feminist trait. So congratulations on taking credit for something all humans do, you stupid moron. Yes, Melissa Higgins, you're a stupid moron. And our last article today, which I kind of really want to bitch slap Maria Frostrup. Oh no, that's gendered violence. So let me go ahead and read this little part here. It's basically like an advice column that Morella is her name. But anyways, she went ahead and decided to answer this. The dilemma. My partner is an educated professional woman and quite successful. She clings to the rock of feminism as justification of having to be, in her terms, a strong woman in today's world. The reality is that she's emotionally detached, always angry, frigid, mostly frustrated, often dysfunctional. What pleasures her most is flirting with younger men, leering pervishly over images of men in the media, and finding in every conversation an angle to deride or belittle men in general. Ironically, I put it to you that I'm a man trapped in a marriage with a female chauvinist pig, making my life miserable day by day. How do I escape? And Morella replies, should I do my fun female voice? Let's do my fun female voice for this one, because I think it warrants it.
Is that you, Jason? This could be my husband belating an April Fool's joke. It's not. This creature is surely the fearful modern man's worst nightmare. She clearly doesn't represent a positive outcome to the drawn-out struggle for equality we remain engaged in. Rather, your partner sounds like a throwback to the 70s, those bra-burning feminists bent on proving they could beat men at their own game. Can women simply evolve into the male stereotype?
So, yeah, basically, this article, I mean, first off, she's questioning whether or not this is real. And she does so throughout this article of, you know, she doesn't think that this is a real person writing into her, that it has to be fake. Well, Mariella, I question if this is even real, if anyone actually wrote this into you, and if you made this up. And because you don't really address the issue that this person faces. You instead basically make fun of them and then say, well, women have to do this, and, it's really men's fault that something like this could happen, and women had to fight. And then goes into, well, this would have seemed less credible had I not read a horror story disguised as an article about young female bankers in S magazine. And basically talking about how these were trollops, basically, were pretty much the thing that us men are always complaining about women. They're being a little too feminine, and their most perfect date is a tender rendezvous at least 7 stops from Liverpool Street in order to avoid colleagues. I really don't understand that, but then let's go ahead and do the female voice of her response to this. The advice I offer you is no different to that I'd give to any woman in a relationship where their partner humiliates them, leers over their gender while belittling them, and fails to live up to any reasonable behavioral expectations. I appreciate your pain, but if you despite your partner to the extent you appear to, then escape is the inevitable choice. So there could be another agenda for the character your wife so affectionately. Either she's a walking, talking cliche embodying every quality we hope to smooth away from the male of the species, or you're having a laugh. Sorry, I have to go through a couple of menus just to do that voice change. So even when she's giving advice, she's like, well, something I tell women all the time to do, I'm going to tell you to do. Oh, you need to escape that situation. But are you really sure this isn't just you having a joke at my expense? I mean, this is horrific. I mean, okay, is it possible that this is fake? Certainly. But that holds true for any letter that's probably given into this, that it's fake. But you chose to put this on there, even though you think it's fake, because, well, there's no way a woman could act like this, right? No way at all. This has to be a lie. But you use this as a soapbox to talk about, feminism and how, men, toxic masculinity, even though you never say those words, that's basically what you're saying in all of this. And, you're still accusing this person of making this up. But more than that, you appreciate their pain, but they need to escape. Well, I hate to break it to you, honey, but men can't just get a divorce in this country. That if a man were trying to get a divorce, she could get him for everything, even if she makes more money than him. She could take him to the cleaners, and it sounds like that's pretty much what she would do. And if I'm talking to this guy, I'd be like, look, you've got to make some tough choices here, but you need to get out of this marriage. You need to start talking to a lawyer and find out what you can do. But more than likely, there's nothing you can do. Because if you try to get a divorce, she will take you to the cleaners. And she just goes on more about how blah, 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 feminism. So anyways, I guess that's going to do it for my show today. Thank you for checking this show out. As always, there are the various articles I've done today. Consider donating to my Patreon to get better quality videos. I'm hoping I did get a nice donation in. I got a camera. Hopefully I can take this up a notch. But also I need it for medical treatment. Unfortunately, medical treatment, it costs like thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not really feasible that I could save up one donation to try to get thousands and thousands of dollars. Besides that, hopefully with better production value, I can reach out to more people. But if you don't want to donate to my Patreon, you don't like doing the whole crowdfunding things, consider buying my book. I put a lot of time and effort into that. Most people told me that it's pretty good. But, first book is free. Download it, read it. If you like it, consider buying the other book or leaving an honest review. I want to know what you think about that. Also, still doing the voice equality thing. Sign up for the various petitions there, depending on where you're at in the world. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for coming out, and hopefully I'll be doing one of these tomorrow. I should be doing my Feminist Smash series on Wednesdays, which is where I do the major articles worth talking about further. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. This is Mad Cat signing out.